Here we are, deep in the season of Advent, with the crescendo of Christmas festivities continuing to rise. Wrappings and presents, bells and carols, all things merry and bright. And tonight we gather on the longest night of the year to sit in stillness. It is as if we have a foot perched in two worlds, balancing the light of the season with the blues that often come at this time of year, with the sadness and grief that come sometimes from the real-life trials we are experiencing or remembering, sometimes just feelings we can't quite explain as they rest in our bodies, making themselves known. It's hard to feel such heaviness at a time of year when expectations are so high and the demand for joyfulness so great. And so we've come tonight seeking beloved community to share the messy and multifaceted feelings we feel because we are alive and because we sense on some level that we need the darkness as much as we need the light. In some sense, we resonate with the awareness that here in community, honesty about these sad and lonely feelings, instead of the disguise of good cheer, is a way through, a way to true, deep, and profound joy. This is the holy work of community. The assurance that when one is in pain and distant from God, others in the community can be present. When one feels too heavy to cry out, "Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. O Lord, make haste to help me." Others can pray for them until they can pray with us again. Here in beloved community, we can bear the light for each other, a sentiment so beautifully expressed by Jan Richardson in her blessing, "Blessed are you who bear the light." Blessed are you who bear the light in unbearable times, who testify to its endurance amid the unendurable, who bear witness to its persistence when everything seems in shadow and grief. Blessed are you in whom the light lives, in whom the brightness blazes, your heart a chapel, an altar where in the deepest night can be seen the fire that shines forth in you, in unaccountable faith, in stubborn hope, in love that illumines every broken thing. I love that line at the end, in love that illumines every broken thing it finds. Candles and light have long been an image we use for the incarnation, the presence of God in the world. At this time of year, it's a favorite thing of mine to walk through the decorated neighborhoods at night. It's that still, quiet stroll, festive in some places, dark in others. And I'm always drawn to the houses with little decoration, save the single candle in the window. It's the light we bear in the world, the love that illumines every broken thing it finds. That candle, that light is a symbol, a reminder to a weary world that the light of Christmas never dims and shines into the darkest of nights. We place the simple lone candle in the window as a sign, a reminder of what Isaiah says. "Do not fear. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. Do not fear, for I am with you." Celebrating the mystery of Christmas, when God's divine love and mercy became flesh, embodied at the birth of Jesus. Through incarnation, God joins us in our tears and laughter, in our sorrows and joys, in our fear and courage, in our life and death. The light that breaks into the deepest dark, the brilliant light of Christ, our hope. Though it's hard to believe and even harder to lean into, it's okay to be blue when everyone else appears happy. It's reasonable to be sad when everywhere you look, people seem merry and bright. And paradoxically, it's okay to be joyful even when we grieve. It's reasonable to laugh even in hard times, to celebrate when we know illness and death. Christ is with us in it all. So we're here tonight, perhaps because we have the capacity to carry the light, or perhaps because we're feeling blue. We recognize, at least for tonight, that maybe the reason that Christmas was placed so close to the winter solstice, when darkness is at its zenith and light was most needed, is because it shines most brightly. I'd like to close my reflection with a poem from Maren Tirabassi. It's from her book, Christmas Eve at the Epsom Circle, McDonald's. This poem has latched onto my heart, in large part because it creates a beautiful visual image of the dance between light and dark, joy and sorrow. I hope it lands upon your heart in the same way it has mine. The kids with the Santa hats are selling hamburgers more cheerfully because they feel the season and are glad for early closing. A boyfriend comes in and hangs over the counter, pressing against tattered garland, looped to the finger level of children. A family with 3 toddlers, jazzy with excitement, are traveling to Maine in the drizzle of the holy evening. The littlest boy in red and green plaid Oshkosh runs in circles, strangling french fries in his hand, tired of the car and already eager for presents and bed. His little sneakers tramp like angel feet. An older couple in the corner talks quietly about their daughter, who's been dead 4 Christmases now. They could have gone to their son-in-law's house. His kind new wife invited them with her family, but it didn't seem right. And this was the very brightest place. It looked like a star when they drove down the highway, and they knew there would be children. A divorced dad with Budweiser on the black t-shirt who wears jokes with his 6-year-old daughter over milkshakes. A clumsily wrapped present perches on the molded plastic seat. He's trying to make the very best treat he can of their Christmas hour before bringing her back to her mom's house. Brown eyes shine at him and he thinks she's excited for later, for Santa and all, but she's looking over at him, all over memorizing the gift. The preacher is on her way to church to remember Bethlehem out loud for the folks who come to break bread and light little candles with paper circles on them that keep the wax from dripping on their hands as they sing Silent Night. Most of them have heard the story about the child before, and so has she. She's come here first, just to sit for a while and watch the Christmas Eve communion. May we find peace with all the feelings that rest in our hearts this Advent season. May we rest in the knowledge that all feelings are welcome in beloved community. And may we find awareness of the presence of God, even when God feels distant. Emmanuel, come, Lord Jesus.